The other day, I had a vision that I was in a graveyard. I was on my knees, and I pushed my hands into the dirt. I saw myself digging a hole with a shovel, and I wondered, who am I burying? And then I saw myself, and I was reborn. I was standing in the dirt, brand new. The graveyard soil. It cleansed me. The dead are good at that. I've been having anxiety lately, and when I realized why, I cried to my angels and to my dead. I don't deserve good things. Good things just don't happen to me. It's been so hard, I've lost so much. I forgot that flowers grow over graves. My little babies, you're growing up so fast. You're teaching me so much. This is Rebel. I've had her for a couple months now. She reminds me that to truly love, you have to break down your ego and love someone the way they want to be loved. My ego's love poured and poured into her the way I thought best. And look at my poor Rebel now, yellow and brown, the colors of decay. Did you know that there are quite a few reasons for why a dead body turns brown and yellow? One of them being dehydration. Embalmers will inject that body with moisturizing fluid to bring back the color to a point that we're comfortable with. And it's funny because my Rebel is brown and yellow from oversaturation, and there's no way for me to make this comfortable for me. I have to sit here and watch her decay and wait until she comes back to life, until she dries out just like she likes it. I've been trying to learn the ways in which I prefer to be loved, so I can love myself accordingly. I have to be the observer of myself. I have to listen to myself and not let my ego love me based on some stories of love that I've internalized or made up. I've been successful at that in my magic lately. Yesterday, I woke up anxious, and so I spent most of the day just doing what feels good to me. I decided to make a spiritual bath. Echinacea, passion flower, chamomile, patchouli, Epsom salt. I just chose whatever I was drawn to from my herb collection. But it's funny how your intuition allows you to pick exactly what's right. If you look up the spiritual meanings for these herbs, you'll see that they were exactly what I needed at that time. When I poured the mixture into my bath, I decided that I wanted to add some bubbles, because that's what feels good to me. My inner child rejoices at a bubble bath, but my ego was trying to tell me that the chemicals of this cheap bubble bath would interfere with the pureness of my herbs. But my spirit needed to get rid of this anxiety, and so my inner child playing in bubbles was perfectly aligned with what this bath was supposed to be about, right? So I took a bubble bath with my herbs. Do you see what I mean? I practice loving my true self the way I needed to be loved, not based off of the stories of this perfect little witch that my ego made up. This morning, I woke up at 5:15 a.m. anxious, and I felt the energy build up in my hands as I prayed for it to go away. I went to my firstborn plant, Jordan, and dug my fingers into her soil, still moist from watering 5 days ago. I offered my pain to her so she can turn it into oxygen or whatever else she could use the energy for. I felt so connected to her as I massaged the soil into my hands. My firstborn plant was actually a dying plant for years in the dark corners of my mom's home. But she never showed her the sun and constantly threw trash on her that wasn't biodegradable. One day I was fed up and I took her to my room, and I decided that as a death doula, I would bring her back to life. I would love her. Months later, and she's grown 7 new leaves. I love her so much, and she's taught me a lot. So this morning, I knew I could confide in my baby, who knew what it meant to need help. I've concluded that anxiety is a parasite. It wants to exist so badly, but it can't without me. It distorts my memories and realities, and it's even broke down a couple relationships. It's conjured up monsters in the dark and has dragged my mind into the shadows in the broad daylight. At one point, it controlled me, but now when it bites into me, I know it's because it desperately is worried that it won't exist anymore, that I'll forget it and it will die. But darling, what if death isn't the end for you? What if you become the energy that feeds a plant spirit's magic? I can't allow you to eat me alive anymore. You belong in the soil with all the other organisms that feed on dead things and living things. That ain't me. I think you could really like it there. You could be reborn. I could be reborn. Trust me.